This is a short video of an experiment. Most of my art is experimental, I guess. I'd like to take risks sometimes and just see where the watercolor will take me, because it's a fairly unpredictable medium. And I'm going to do a painting of the petroglyphs out at Sproat Lake, and it's a beautiful rock formation, and also the etchings of or the paintings or drawings that were done by the First Nations people. I don't know how old they are, probably a few hundred years old, and it's an interesting art form. Some people may think of it as stick people, but I think it's art. Obviously, art is a reflection of our lives, who we are, and the petroglyphs tell a story of those times when the original people lived here on their land. I encourage you all to go and take a look at the petroglyphs. It's an amazing site. There's a nice dock there that you can go down and explore the waterfront. So we went down and took some photos, and I did a painting there of the Sproat Lake in my sketchbook. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next with this painting. So I'll just switch the camera. So what we have here is I'm going to be using this art graph, two colors. It's a water soluble graphite, and I've got brown and dark brown, and some swatches here of the colors. There's also a carbon black. This is the darkest color here, and I've used that before in a background. It looks really beautiful. It's a little more smooth than the other two. You see that there's quite a lot of granulation from the graphite, of course, but this one tends to be a little bit more clear in the wash, and the other two are a little bit splotchy, which is okay. You know, like it's the dark black one created a really cool background for this little painting here. So that's the raven, and the background is the art graph carbon black. So it was applied wet on wet. So what I actually did was made a solution of the art graph solution, and then I wetted the paper and then applied the art graph medium to the paper, and it kind of puddles. You see, if you look really close, it doesn't, you know, it's not like an even wash or anything, and it's not the intention of this medium. It would be impossible to get an even wash in this kind of medium, but it does create a really interesting look. Okay, this is what the art graph medium looks like when you take it out of the packaging. It's kind of like a tailor's chalk. My mother was a seamstress, and she used these kind of chalks like this to mark fabric, and it was shaped like this. Really cool, eh? So anyways, let's I'll try to make a little mark here. Okay, there you go. See, it's really easy to transfer. You don't have to press very hard, and it'll create a mark. I'm just going to grab a brush, and I'll wet it, and then you'll see how it works. Okay, see how when I wet it? So that's pretty cool, eh? So if you had some shadows, like in the rocks, you could create a shadow line, and then you would apply the wash on there, okay, and kind of smooth it out. And the way this looks, the model look of these two colors, it should work out really well because that's kind of what rock looks like. And so what's happened here is I used like a wash. So this was, I diluted this art graph and created like a wash solution, and then I spread it on the paper, and then gradually, used less and less of the color, and added more water, and it just diluted down like to this. So it does dilute down to a color like this. Okay, it's not a medium that you can layer or glaze over. It doesn't work that way. So when you do something like this is what you get. So this is what I've got here. It looks really quite odd, and what I've done is I sketched it out with a pencil. It's more or less to scale, and so we've got the rock face, and these are the kind of drawings that are etched into the rock face that you see. And I've put masking fluid over those sections. Okay, and the reason I did that is because I want to keep it white so that I can create, because that's where there's a kind of a shadow and white reflection from those areas. Okay, I'm just going to wet this area here. So this is the rock face here along this edge, and then down here by the water, and it's just straight like that. So I'm just going to take my mop brush and start wetting that area. So it doesn't have to be really exact. It's I think this one's going to be a kind of a loose watercolor painting, or even a little bit abstract, because I'm just really going with what the medium does to the paper here, and whatever I get, I'll make it into a rock. Yeah, it's kind of like my Northern Lights paintings, Aurora Borealis. It's unpredictable and kind of a fun thing to do, because you just go with what you got, and I think that's what the beauty of watercolor is. Okay, so I've wetted the area really well. So now I'm going to add some of the liquid graphite, the water-soluble graphite. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water to these two stones here, and it dissolves really fast. So let's see, this is what happens when you put it on. It just spreads like wildfire. So I'm going to just do this, and you see where the masking fluid is masking where the white is. This is kind of like highlights on the rock, and so it's it kind of just spreads where the water is. It's kind of cool that way. And I've got two colors here. See this darker color here? So it's I'm going to mix them together, and this will kind of create shadows in the rock, and which I think will be quite cool. All right, and So just along the water edge here, I'll try to keep my line straight. There. And see, I'm just mixing the two colors over the rock. And I really think the two colors work, because it really is the same colors as the rock, these two colors together. Of course, there's some black. The shadows are, nothing really is black in nature, really, you know. It's black is an absence of light. So there'll be some spots where there's big cracks in the rocks that I'm going to go in with the black carbon black liquid graphite, or it's water soluble graphite, and create the shadows of the cracks in the rock. So I did add some carbon black to the painting, and it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with what's happening here. So I took the carbon black and I just applied it over wet and wet over the surface, and then I took a fan brush and just feathered it out to cover the area. So it'll create a kind of a streaky looking look, because I noticed that the rock face actually has these black streaks of probably algae that died or whatever, moss, and that's in the cracks of the rock. But it's looks more like this color here, and it'll make the petroglyphs really pop out when I remove the masking fluid. So that should work out pretty well. I'm happy with that. So this is what it looks like, more or less dry now. Yeah, it still has to dry completely. I can't use a hair dryer on it because it's got masking fluid. And if you use a hair drying on masking fluid, sometimes it attaches itself to the paper and you can't remove it. So I'm just going to let it dry on its own. So it's going to take a few hours. And then I'll remove the masking fluid.